Coming up on a movie film show today, we've got a trailer for a brand new John David Washington movie. We've also got a trailer for a new Amazon movie starring Kate Beckinsale, and a trailer for one of the most hotly anticipated movies of all time. But before we get into any of that, there's only one place to start this week, and that's with LOKi, episode 4. LOKi just got interesting. I've been saying in previous weeks, I've enjoyed the show, I've liked it, it's been interesting, but I was waiting for something to really start to happen, and now stuff is starting to happen, even to the point where, at least it seemed, major characters were getting killed off left, right and center in this week's episode. Episode 4 had some shocking moments in it and moments I didn't see coming, and then the post-credits sequence leads to more questions. The relationship between Sylvie and LOKi is growing all the time. It's an interesting dynamic between the two, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But it seems like the show has taken a complete left turn with this one episode, because it seemed like at the beginning LOKi and Owen Wilson were going to team up to take down variants and reset the timeline type of thing. But that's not what we're getting at all. Now the Time Variance Agency seems like an illusion of sorts and seem like the bad guys now. So the story getting more and more interesting, and what happens with LOKi on episode 5 after getting prodded with the cattle prod thing, that just has my mind racing as to what's going to happen next, and I hope I'm not going to be let down. However, this week had some very bad issues. So the scene where they get to the Time Lords or the Timekeepers, whatever they're called, and they're talking to LOKi and Sylvie, what the hell were they saying? Because the audio was so bad. Whoever chose to make the audio so indecipherable for the most part, it must have been Christopher Nolan doing this part. But the part where the Time Lords, let's just call them Time Lords, the Time Lords are talking, it was very hard to understand what they were saying, at least from my stream. Now I realized they were trying to make them like entities, and then in the end they were like androids, but it just seems like a bad creative decision to make their voices so indecipherable. Sure, you want to give them this big booming voice, but at least allow us to hear what they're saying. It was a struggle with that scene in particular, a definite downfall of the show so far. But as I say, I'm intrigued for episode 5. I can't wait to see what's going to happen, and I'd love to know your opinions on LOKi episode 4. With that being said, let's jump into this week's movie news and trailers. It was a big week for movie trailers. Some big trailers came out this week, but there's only one place to start in terms of movie trailers this week, and that's with the trailer for one of the most hotly anticipated movies of all time. Take a look.
Clifford, be a good boy and drop it. Ew, bless you. Oh, look, they're playing. Well, you don't see that every day.
Maybe it's time to feed him.
That's right, Clifford the Big Red Dog is getting his own movie. Unbelievable, I can't wait for it. You got Kenan Thompson there, you got Clifford the Big Red Dog. But moving on from a hotly anticipated movie to a movie that's probably, what, like 10 years late? We're finally getting a Sopranos movie. James Gandolfini's son is even involved. And for any fans of The Sopranos, I'm sure we'll all just be happy once it doesn't end on a fade to black. But here's a trailer, and here's what it looks like.
You lead by example. We'll make the right decision. This kid's got what it takes.
As far as your nephew goes,
I'm listening.
stay out of his life.
As with any trailer featured here on the Movie Film Show, there will be a link in the description for you to check out the full trailer all for yourself. We're only going to show a snippet here because copyright stuff. But if you want to check out the full trailer, there is a link in the description below. Now moving on, some very interesting movie news this week. As it was announced a few months ago, seems like a long time ago now, when Disney announced all their Star Wars projects. Well, Patty Jenkins, who made Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, which wasn't quite as good, she's working on Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And it's been confirmed this week that Matthew Robinson, who wrote the likes of The Invention of Lying and Love and Monsters, which I reviewed on the channel not too long ago, both decent movies, pretty good stories within. Invention of Lying is a personal favourite of mine. He's now working on Star Wars Rogue Squadron alongside Patty Jenkins. So We have a writer, we have a director, and that Star Wars movie is one step closer to getting made. And then we've got more Star Wars in the cinema, and hopefully it'll be better than Star Wars The Last Jedi. Although that's not saying much, it can't be much worse, I hope. So the last year has actually been a really big year for John David Washington in terms of movies. He was in Malcolm and Marie, a big Netflix release, which some people thought was going to be Oscar nominated. After watching it, I was like, there's no hope. But he was also in Tenet, a Christopher Nolan movie, perhaps Christopher Nolan's worst movie, as I mentioned in the review of that one. But he has been in some big movies in the last year, and now he's got a new one. It's called Beckett, and it looks like this.
Away. Not a soul will take my place.
My friend, come out. It's a misunderstanding.
Not a soul will take my place.
I need help. I'm a U.S. citizen. I was vacationing with my girlfriend.
Not a soul will take my place.
It's over, Becky.
What did you want with me?
Despite not being a big fan of Malcolm and Marie or Tenet, I am a fan of John David Washington. I think he's a fantastic actor. Even though I wasn't a big fan of either of those movies, he was particularly good in both movies. And he was also very good in Black Klansman. But Beckett looks like it could be a very interesting project, and it's certainly one I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Another project I'm eagerly keeping an eye on is Kate Beckinsale's new movie with Amazon Prime called Jolt, which looks like this.
Lindy.
You spent years being forced to repress your anger. But now, you have seen how powerful you can be when you embrace your rage.
Oh, seriously, you're gonna make me go through the whole face-stomping, bone-breaking, making a mess routine? Okay, fine.
Certainly an interesting movie from Amazon right there, and there's not too long to go until we see that one. I believe it's out in July. I might be wrong there. It looks like this is going to be Amazon's next big release, following on from the Tomorrow War, which I will have a review for on Wednesday, so keep your eyes peeled for that one on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, notification bell, you get all the notifications for all the uploads, and then you never miss an upload, and that's pretty awesome. And there we have it. That's this week's The Movie Film Show. We're not even going to end on a trailer this week. What madness is this? Because we've been doing that too much lately. This is where we turn it over to you guys, because I want to know your opinions on anything featured on the Movie Film Show, especially Loki. What are your expectations for episode 5? Are you looking forward to it? Are you a little bit bored of this show, or is it awesome? And on top of that, if you enjoyed today's Movie Film Show, I'd greatly appreciate if you subscribed, maybe even hit that notification bell, and check back next week. Every single Monday, 8 p.m. GMT, a new Movie Film Show with all the week's trailers and news that I find important, at least, and more recently talking about Loki. But with all that said and all that done, thank you so much for watching.